Hey there, it's Christine Collins, and I have for you today a little bit of an exercise to guide us through a reflection regarding why it matters that we actually believe in the thing that we're trying to achieve. So whether you are trying to achieve a goal for your business, whether you are trying to accomplish a project, you are trying to create some new content, or manifest something really powerful for yourself in your life or in your business, let's just kind of walk through two different scenarios and talk through why it matters that you believe in it being possible. So, scenario number one is something that you know you can do, you've done it before, and it feels easy to you. So that could be anything. So we could use some examples of like something that you regularly do in your business. Maybe you're really good at creating graphics, or maybe you're really good at writing blogs or creating content. Or maybe if those aren't your strong areas, there's something else that you feel really confident in, maintaining a spreadsheet, keeping your systems organized. So whatever that thing is for you, think about what it feels like to believe that it's possible, to know that it's possible, and to know that you can achieve it. Now, if you're struggling to come up with something like that in your business, you can definitely use an example in your everyday life, and it can be as simple as brushing your teeth every day, or making your dinner, or something that comes naturally and easy for you that you do on a regular basis. So once you have that activity in your mind, take a minute and think about how you approach that activity. So if we're going to something really simple like brushing your teeth every day, so my guess is that it would look something like you pulling out your toothbrush, toothpaste, maybe a cup for water, whatever your resources are, and laying everything out and kind of just diving right in there and getting to it. So if I had to take a guess, I would say there's probably not a lot of hesitation. There's probably kind of a very confident and direct movement into that activity. You go in knowing you're going to get it done and knowing that you can get it done. So first of all, you proceed with confidence. Second of all, you know the steps. So you know exactly what you need to do next, and then after that, and then after that. So there aren't question marks for you in your mind about where you're going and what you're trying to achieve, you know. And thirdly, if you had to tell someone else or explain it to someone else, you'd be able to do that because that's the level of confidence that you have in that task. So those descriptions are all side effects of you believing that you can accomplish that task. So you go into it knowing you can get it done, you proceed with confidence, you know exactly what steps to take next, and you would have the capacity to describe it or explain it if asked. Now, let's look at an activity that you don't believe is possible for you. So now it's time to think about something in your business that feels hard, something that feels unachievable, and that could be anything. It could be along the lines of making a sale. It could be along the lines of running a webinar. It could be doing a live stream, recording a video, perhaps speaking one-on-one with a client, or having a conversation that ultimately leads to a new client joining in with you. If you're struggling to come up with examples in your business, you can also take an example from your personal life. So it could be something that you're unaccustomed to doing, or that you don't feel strongly that you have the capability to do. Perhaps cooking a new type of meal, or perhaps driving a different type of vehicle than what you're used to. So something that you're not sure is actually achievable, you're not sure it's actually possible. Maybe it's something you would like it to happen, but you don't have that level of confidence or belief that you have the ability to do it. So now we think about how we might step into that activity. So let's pretend that it's cooking a new meal that you've never done before. So the first thing that you might notice going into it is you're a little bit more tentative. So you're pausing, you're thinking about it, you're kind of dipping your toes in maybe more slowly than you did when you were brushing your teeth. And you are less confident as you step into that. You might be like, oh, do I want to grab this cooking oil or this material or this food? Oh, do I want to do this first or this first? So there's just kind of like an uncertainty and perhaps even some second guessing of yourself, some doubting yourself as you're moving through it. And also, you would probably not feel very confident explaining it or teaching it to someone else because you don't yet have that familiarity with it yourself. Now, there's nothing wrong with either of these two scenarios. Of course, there are naturally things in our lives that we believe we can do, we know we can do, and we do them with confidence. And there will always be something that we don't feel confident about, that we don't proceed with that confidence. However, the reason that I brought this exercise forward for you today is to show you how differently we act when we believe we can do it or know we can do it versus we don't really believe it's possible. We're going into something with a strong feeling of self-doubt, a strong feeling of second guessing ourselves, a strong sensation of potential failure. And the point of all of it is that those differences in your belief affect your behavior, and they affect the choices that you make and the way that you enter into situations. So there's a big difference between believing that it's possible to achieve a goal, believing that it's possible to have a conversation with a client and have it go really well, or to do a live stream, or to create something in your business and believing that you can. That doesn't mean that you are comfortable, because it could still be something new for you, and that's completely fine. But the way that you proceed is heavily informed by your belief that it's possible. Do you actually believe that you can hit whatever sales target you've set for yourself or whatever goals you've set for yourself? Or is there a sense of nothing works out for me, this never works for me, I see other people achieving this but I can't, or I've never done it before so I don't have that confidence in it? And the reason why I think it's helpful to kind of examine the difference between believing that it's possible versus thinking that it's impossible is to show you all of the practical pieces that come out of that lack of belief. When we don't believe that something is possible, we make choices differently. When you were approaching the toothbrushing situation, you immediately went, got out all of your tools, jumped right in, and probably completed it within a short amount of time. When we were approaching the meal that we weren't certain about, we were like, picking up this thing and then picking up that thing, and we weren't proceeding with very much confidence. It probably took a much longer period of time. And some of that is lack of information, like knowing what to do next. But a big part of it is believing that it's going to work. And what happens is when we don't actually believe that something we are doing is going to work, our physical actions and choices out in the world, which are very real and tangible, get informed by that doubt. And we make choices differently, we take fewer risks, and we interact with other people differently based on that lack of belief that it's possible. So all of this kind of ties into something that I feel very passionately about, which is your belief in yourself and your belief that the things you desire are actually achievable for you, actually possible for you. and that they are within reach. Because once you have the belief, you then step into making choices differently, behaving differently, and stepping forward into that activity very differently than you do when you don't believe it could actually work. And so if you're noticing a tendency to not believe in the possibility, you're feeling a sense of doubt. And I'm not talking about like a healthy skepticism that like we all kind of have in life where we're kind of making measured decisions, right? So we may not believe it's possible to jump off a roof and fly. I would not advise you to try doing that. However, when it comes to taking little risks in your business that will expand and grow your business, believing that those decisions will work out for you, will benefit you, will grow your business and actually work is very important. And so if you're noticing that doubt and that lack of belief in the possibility, there are a lot of tools available to shift the belief. To make the experience of success more likely, there are some baby steps that we can take to inch closer towards that actually happening. And one of those is transforming doubt into belief, transforming that second guessing of ourselves and that lack of belief in the possibility into believing that it could work, believing that it could actually work out for you. And we can do that with hypnosis. So one of the things that hypnosis does really well and really effectively is opens a tiny window into possibility. So we're not talking about going from 0 to 60 and going from I suck at this, I'm terrible at this, it never works, it will never work, and being extremely like down on it, extremely doubtful, and then going all the way up to like, oh yes, absolutely, it's totally gonna happen. Like, I'm not talking about these like major jumps. We're talking about a little window opening and saying, yeah, maybe it could work. Maybe this time it's gonna be different than the last time when I tried and it didn't work or I failed at something. I do believe that it could happen. And you will be amazed at how much of an impact just opening that teeny tiny window into that possibility can impact the outcome and the everyday experience. It doesn't require going from 0 to 60. Just a little nudge closer towards believing that it's possible can go a very long way in actually making it possible. And that is what hypnosis does really effectively, really easily for you, where you're not having to kind of actively like work through the things on a conscious level. When it comes to hypnosis, you're relaxing, you're chilling out, you're taking some me time, and you're getting a nice little break from the skeptical part of your mind that's constantly seeking out the doubt and the threat and trying to neutralize every threat by thinking through everything that could possibly go wrong. We're taking a little breather from that person, from that side of you that's always looking for the threat or the problem, and shifting ever so slightly into the part of you that knows it can happen, that knows it can work, that believes in that possibility. And so we get the benefit of transforming that little belief, just nudging it a little bit closer towards possibility and belief, and also getting some very delicious relaxation. And often what can happen from that relaxation is ideas, solutions, things that you've been struggling with solving that perhaps your active conscious mind has not been able to solve. There is a deeper part of us that is an amazing problem solver when we allow the creative side of us to emerge. And that happens in the hypnosis process because it relaxes us down into different brain waves. That fully awake brainwave state where we're, just looking around and very active and very conscious is different from when we get deeply relaxed, like you're kind of dozing off and falling asleep. A lot of times people find they get their best ideas as they're falling asleep or as they're doing something relaxing, taking a walk, taking a shower, taking a swim, having a massage. Those are all activities that can activate that more calm, rested mind. And that calm, rested mind is deeply creative and a very good problem solver, because we are much better problem solvers when we're relaxed versus when we're stressed. And there's quite a bit of neuroscience research around that. And so hypnosis does both of those things for us at once. It gets us deeply relaxed, where our creative mind can kind of come to the surface and problems can be solved and ideas can come in and a lot of content and all kinds of things like that can get generated. And at the same time, we're gently nudging our belief system closer towards that beautiful realm of possibilities, that horizon of everything that you're wishing for, but you've been doubting. You just nudge yourself a little bit closer towards believing that it's possible. And when you can do that and open that little window, all of a sudden, in your everyday life, things start to change. As you're moving into believing that it's possible, you're acting differently, you're feeling differently, you're interacting differently, and all of that can be quite magical, even though it's really just neuroscience. So I hope you found this to be enlightening. Once again, I'm Christine Collins, and if you would like to find out more about my work, hypnosis, or anything else, you can check me out at transformcreate.com. And until we connect again, I wish you an absolutely magical and creative rest of your day.